For someone, I suppose, who's looking to go into a role like yours as a PR manager, what competencies do you think are important for that person to possess to enjoy it and to be successful at it?
Okay. I don't necessarily think that a background, say an educational background, is necessary. You are either going to have the passion and the drive to do the job or not, and the skills can all be learned to a certain extent, of course. Writing is a huge part of the job. As I said, you're sending out press releases, you're writing up all the information for the hotel, and you're sending it out. So writing is a huge part of the job. You have to be able to multitask. With PR, there's always a deadline, many deadlines. Some come that are planned, some are less planned, and you have to be able to switch from one task to the other depending on the urgency of the task.
And prioritise it, I suppose.
Exactly, prioritisation. Organisation is huge as well, and you have to be detail oriented. Everything, when you think that you're the voice of the hotel, you don't want any information to be wrong. You want everything to be spot on, and you want to represent that brand as best you can. So if you're...
Have you read something somewhere and thought...
Yeah, I have.
Oh, I never...
Exactly, it happens. Or if you see a misspelling in something, that even if you haven't written, but even if it's the hotel name,
the simplest thing. It
can affect. If your brand is 5-star, it's luxury, it's supposed to be perfect. There should never be mistakes. So detail oriented for sure.
Very good. Can you tell me, I suppose, Annie, I find that you often meet individuals who are quite inspiring to you in roles like yours. Is there anyone in your experience that you have encountered that you found was an inspiring or motivational figure?
Yes, I couldn't pinpoint just one.
And why? I suppose I'd like to learn why they were so motivating and inspiring.
As I didn't come from a PR background or anything, I found that I was given a lot of opportunities, and the people that I always worked with in PR, the PR director that was here previously that trained me initially, just inspired me, because I went to her with no experience and said, please show me something, let me learn a new skill, see if I like it. And she completely, in the space of a week, instilled passion in me. I wanted to do this job, I wanted to do it well, and that to me just shows sign of a great leader, because... How did she do that? Just by devoting her time and her energy to me, and actually showing that she cared. She was very passionate about the role as well, and obviously wanted other people to excel in the job, because it was something that she had a passion for, and she wanted to spread that around. Because she saw the importance of the job. And I found that with all of my PR leaders, actually, who I've just learned so much from, because everybody that I've learned from has had far more experience than me, obviously, and they're just so selfless in giving me that experience and that knowledge.
It's a fine quality.
Yeah, so that for me is phenomenal.
Very good. Tell me, I suppose you've probably encountered a couple of interesting and funny hotel experiences. Any one particular one stand to mind that you'd like to share with the young hoteliers of today?
Middle East only, I'm sure. There was a photo shoot that took place in a hotel that I worked in before. And it was during a religious festival. So we lent a hotel room to a photographer that we had a good friendship with, a good relationship with, who did a lot of work for the hotel. And when the photo shoot was finished, I went up to thank them and to make sure everything was fine, and walked into the room, and there was a whole goat in the hotel room on a tray, like quite obviously a goat, which I'd never seen before, a whole animal. So that was quite interesting. And trying to, I don't know how they got into the hotel without anybody seeing, because getting it out of the hotel without any guests seeing was certainly a big challenge. So that was quite interesting. It was for the photo shoot. They used it for the photo shoot. So incredible. Props are quite interesting. Can be.
What would be, I suppose, one of the hardest lessons that you've had to learn, whether it be about the hotel industry or about the role that you're holding?
Well, I guess, and again, perhaps this is more regional specific. It's quite difficult relating with all the cultures that you come into contact with. We're obviously in an Arabic country here, and I've worked in Qatar as well, which is even more conservative, should I say. And you never want to offend people or ever, show disrespect to them. But of course we can. without even realizing it, because we don't have the knowledge. So it was difficult to get to grips with different cultures to make sure that I wasn't, in my day-to-day dealings, offending anyone. For example, I met a Japanese group last week, was giving them a site inspection, and learning the bowing process and how to present your business cards with two hands, because if you give it with one hand, it's seen as an insult. So small details like that make such a big difference to the guest. Also, when you're working with so many different cultures, I know in this hotel we have 56 nationalities, I think, in 350 employees. So you're literally meeting 50 different countries a day, and to try to relate to them, to understand where they're coming from, and for them the same to understand where you're coming from, could be quite a challenge, a rewarding challenge, because it works quite well, but it's definitely a challenge.
Very good, very good. Can you tell me, I suppose, for yourself, what you aspire to for your own career path in the next, say, 5 years' time, where you'd like to see yourself in what kind of a role, and whether it'll possibly still be within the industry, you think?
I'm sure it'll be in the industry. It's an industry that once you get in, it keeps you, because you find, oh my God, this is actually what I was made to do. It's a calling, I think, as much as any other job is. And I would definitely say in the industry, I can't pinpoint a country, because it's something that you can travel with. With one company, with 10 companies, anywhere in the world, you have so many opportunities. So still in PR, perhaps regional director, who knows?
Excellent.
Corporate office, definitely still in the industry anyway.
And you, as you said, you associate yourself, you find a lot of things that you admire about the Ritz-Carlton brand. What kind of things would they be?
The most important part to me, and the reason that I've stayed with the company, is because of their care for employees. We have certain 5 gold standards, as we call it, that the company is built on. It's the foundation of the company, and one of them is the employee promise, and that to me means so much, because honestly, the company sees the employees as the most important resource. Without the employees, there would be no Ritz-Carlton brand, and everybody that works for the company engages so much with the guests and gives so much to the company, and that they appreciate that and give it back to us. And it just instills loyalty, and it's just nice to be taken care of. It's not just a corporate promise that's never kept. It works from the top down and back up again. So
it's good. I think a lot of people think hotels are, all the bright lights and very fun and very exciting, which they are.
They are.
By the same token, there's many, I think, hardworking individuals who are often overlooked and things like that. And the employee promise, obviously, is nice to see that delivered.
Yeah, especially
do you think, as we can see here in the Middle East alone, globally, there's a lot of development going on. Do you think there's going to be a fighting for talent, as they say, and that is going to require other hotels and other hotel brands to improve on their employee promises?
I think so. You can already see that in the past few years, like other brands, Four Seasons, for example, they really are taking care of their employees, because it's people's lives, and especially if you're living away from home, the people that you work with are your family. And if you're not going to look after your employees, then they're not going to stay. Then if they're not going to be happy, they're not going to be here, and you're investing so much time in hiring people and hiring the right people. Why would you let that resource go? It just doesn't make sense, and they see that. And if you have unhappy employees, then the guests are also going to see that as well, because it's not a business that you're walled in. You're speaking to guests every single day, and they obviously interact and everything. And if you're not going to be happy, if you're not going to take care of the employee, then that's clearly going to come out to your guests.